Hello, this is Rafiq Masuti with program Dar Ru on RNA which is available on YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram, and all social media channels. This is Thursday, जुमेरात 8:30 और हमेशा की तरह मेरे दरबार में एक खास मेहमान है। दरबार इसलिए क्योंकि दरबार दरवाजे के पार यानी कश्मीरी में जब इसको नोट करते हैं दरबार यानी जब यू चैट वी से दरबारा कराओ. So Kashmir is a beautiful place. I don't have to say it because everybody knows it. This is the paradise on earth. Dar Firdaus baru zamiyas, hamiyas. That's here, the paradise. और paradise का एक north area है, that's called North Kashmir, and North Kashmir which we normally call Kamraz, and Kamraz में एक ऐसी जगह है जिसको पहले जमाने में छोटा लंदन कहते थे. छोटा लंदन इसलिए because Kashmir's 75% of the apple crop was produced by Sopore area, Sopore Pargana. That's why the people were well off. They had a lot of money, and they would buy anything. They would have anything which London people had. So that's why the people called it Chota London. And unfortunately, then we were, because I belong to Sopore also, and incidentally, my guest tonight is also from Sopore, and we were 3 R's were always there. 3 R, 3 Re, 3 Re Shasam. Red, Ropi, Rap. Unfortunately, because Red isliye, kyunki if you want to find Tonga, Reda in Kashmir, you can come down to Sopore and have a look because Sopore still has their Tongas. And Reda, Ropia means the dhan, the money, the wealth. Sopore has a lot of wealth. The Rab also because Sopore was neglected by the political reasons. So we had, but the things are changing, things are moving now. So Sopore is a beautiful place. The old Sopore has a mohalla which is a Khankai mohalla. And Khankai mohalla area which is famous for some business people like Kangos, like Anims, like Trambus, like other people, Masudis also, because adjoining to the Khankai mohalla is Jama Qadim, then Jama Qadim is the Hatisha. Hatisha is the place for all Masudis. And my guest today is G.H Kango, who was born on 30th of December, way back, more than 85 years back. I won't tell him his date of year of birth, but he is there. Kango sahab, please come in.
Hello. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. How are you, sir? How are you, sir?
Fine, thank you so much.
So, nice meeting you. You look so gracious, so handsome.
I hope we'll not talk about Rob and Ropi and what is the else? Radar. So
I said it. That's the talk of past now, because things are changing. I said it.
So let's not talk about that really.
Yeah, it's not. So the Abdul Ghani Kango Saab's place, house, you were born, but he left you when you were very young, 3 or 4 years old. Then your uncle, he took care of you, both your sisters and you. And the next generation, one cousin, Muhammad Makbul, taught maths in Sopore, Muhammad Makbul Kango, and he was the principal, and he was my teacher too.
That's fine.
Yeah, in Sopore, although I was not student of the math. So, Kango sahab, अगर हम पीछे चले जाएं, 80 साल पीछे चले जाएं, how do you remember those back 80 years of Jama Qadim or the Khanka Mohalla Sopore?
I think every child remembers his past to the extent he lived. I have very sweet memories of my place, Sopore, and we were a joint family, a big joint family. My uncle, his family, of course, you talked about Muhammad Makbul, we were in the same house. And then my brother, elder brother, and my sister, I have one sister. And then the brood got increased. As the brothers, daughters grew up, and the son grew up. The son is now Riaz. Probably you know him. He's now
I'll stop you there. Riaz is my childhood friend. We happened in the college. We happened in the university. I was the barati in his marriage. I was the in nikah,
Yeah.
and we meet frequently. We chat with Riaz Khan, who
Wow. That's
is
lovely because
is
we'll talk of
I tell you,
marriages, talk of marriage.
I have no words to describe his character. He was in my
Right. Pardon?
so he was in my marriage. जब मेरी शादी हुई थी, मैं उसकी शादी में गया मिलता. He's a very close guy and very nice person.
Yes.
Buddy, yeah, please go ahead.
Uh, I'll tell you, it's just a coincidence because Riaz is here these days. He has
Oh
come.
yeah, yeah.
Riaz is here. He
He's
has
in NASA.
come for the marriage of my granddaughter, which just took place 2 days back.
Oh
So that's how this time moves. Now, when Riaz was married, so I was with him. So naturally, you were the guest also. But now
yes, Rajbagh.
his
We came with a barat in Rajbagh. I remember.
see how time moves. His son, who has his family, they are also here. They all came. It's a lovely thing.
Sir, I'm a
So
grandfather.
he will be leaving another 10 days back. So
Yeah, if he's watching us, tell him he's being missed by all people, and you know what I mean.
I will certainly. It's a great
Yeah.
pleasure to know that
So
he was
we were back in your 8 years back in Khanka Mohalla.
So let me tell you about my childhood because my father left me very early. So I have hardly much memory about him, really. I think the only memory I have him was his last illness when he had to go to Srinagar for better treatment. I know as a child
Mhm.
they put us in a dunga or now, and that's we had to row the boat to Srinagar. It's a childhood memory, and we more enjoyed because I didn't understand that he was so ill. By the time we came back, he was passed away. So I don't have much memories of him.
अब देखिए ना,
Actually, we
कांगू साहब, अब आजकल के बच्चे, कांगू साहब, आजकल के बच्चे, मेरी ग्रैंड डॉटर, आपकी ग्रैंड डॉटर, दे विल थिंक कि ये तो कोई ख्वाब बनता है कि हम कश्ती में आके श्रीनगर आ गए. The water surface transport was the best transport available with us. You know,
I mean, that is a childhood memory. That's a
ये कहेंगे ये तो अलफ लैला की कहानी है, ये कैसे हो सकता है? But this was possible. Even I have tried.
अच्छा, ये तो बचपन की बात ये भी करें कि सोपोर में तब तक नलका का पानी नहीं आता. There was no potable water.
हाँ, river जालम से we will.
हमारे आदमी लाते थे वो लेटर मज़ो इस आना नहीं त्रेश चावल इससे.
बिल्कुल.
So you can imagine the change. And rest, I think I don't have really. I have a beautiful memories as far as my childhood friends and my deal with them. I think I have to talk about it because that. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, I know. I will not touch the emotional and the personal part of it. No. But I remember because you started early schooling in the Islamic middle school and then the government high school. Then you got to the Sopore College, did FSC, yes. And from there you moved to Srinagar and settled in Batmalu somewhere. And from Batmalu you went to SP College hostel. And that I believe कश्मीरी में कहते हैं, and our नबी सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम also said कि that जिसने हिजरत की उसने बहुत कुछ पाया. आपने सोपोर से बटमालू हिजरत की, बटमालू से एसपी कॉलेज हिजरत की, वो आपकी फ्लाइट की उड़ान वहां से आपने भरी. So you were selected for agriculture.
Let me correct you in that sense. I'll tell you.
Okay.
ये जो हमारी जो बचपन वाला है, कॉलेज मैंने FSC करना था, so they put me in a hostel. You're right, but I must confess I absolutely wasted those 2 years. Those self cinema in my picture which on. So with the result, I didn't do much. So in the meantime, I got selected for agriculture training. So although my basic
Lailpur, which is now Faisalabad in Pakistan, isn't it?
Yes, it was a rented building in Ludhiana. So I got my BSc degree from there. Yes, you have some knowledge about myself, but I want to go back to Sopore.
You were speaking in a school in Srinagar where you spoke about it. It is in my mind that Lailpur is now called Faisalabad, and that was the college you did your BSc in agriculture. Then how did you go into the job?
And it was. I'll tell you this, but I had to talk about a bit about support because
Yeah,
that's
please.
what made me what I am. Because that's
Yeah.
apart from the big tragedy, mother, I didn't have my father, but my mother took great care of us, me and my sister. That's a story apart. But what I'm going to tell you was about the my friends around. My
Mm-hmm.
friends around my early period, that when I was in ninth, 10th, maybe partly when I was in 11th also, we had developed nice friends. They were, I still remember some of them, maybe you also know. But
Mm-hmm.
why I mentioned this is that this was the time. This was the time. I didn't waste it. This was the time. I got attracted to the Taraqi Pasand Urdu Adab. I got attracted to
Ah,
communism. Yeah, this
wow.
is I have to say you because this made my character, my future. I was connected,
Mm-hmm.
and we few friends. One of them was Kanyala Lidu. Unfortunately, he passed away in an accident much later. He, Muhammad Akbar, and Ghulam Hassan, etc. There are many people. Both of them, they're all now
Which
dead.
Ghulam Hassan Bacha?
Ghulam Hassan Zargar, Ghulam Hassan Ganai.
Ghulam Hassan Bacha or Ghulam
No,
Hassan,
no, Ghulam Hassan
which
Ganai.
one?
You will not know him. He was actually Zargar because he took up the trade of Zargari. But
Uh,
finally, basically, he was Ganai.
oh, Ghulam
And the
Hassan Zargar
beauty
from Srinagar. Srinagar, yeah. Ganai, Ganai.
that Zargar fellow, my friend, was absolutely illiterate, but he never left us. That was the beauty about it. And
Oh,
why I mentioned this, my the friends and communism is, and this because this changed my whole attitude. This changed my because that got into me. I read a lot of literature with respect to Urdu adab. Name anybody, name your Krishan Chandar, your what we call this
Premchand. Premchand. Mm.
Prem, all those, and so I read all Tarki
Sardar
Mansur,
Jafri.
and so
Yeah.
the Sardar Jafri, all this,
Faz
and I
Ahmad
also
Faz.
read classical English literature. I read all.
Great.
I read all
Great.
period. That
Great to know
but
it.
what was more important was that, and the Soviet literature was just for nothing, tuppence. I mean, you could get it free. So
एक
what we
रिसाला आता
did
था
is,
सोविट लैंड करके उर्दू में बहुत
हाँ, वो मुफ्त में
मुफ्त
करीब करीब होता था। तो ये
सोविट
वाक़ा
लैंड
मुझे इसलिए बता रहा था ना कि अर्ली लाइफ बिकॉज़ इट हैज़ ऑल थ्रू केम विद मी। तो उस स्टेज में हमने कहा यार वेस्ट टाइम नहीं करना चाहिए, चलो एक क्लब बनाते हैं। अब तो हम ये लिटरेचर बड़ा मुफ्त मिलता है, तो हम ये एंड वी वर लिटिल कम्युनिस्ट, मोर और लेस लिटिल कम्युनिस्ट थिंग बिकॉज़ ये तरक्की
दैट
बस
टाइम
उर्दू वगैरह कैसे। सो हमने एक क्लब बनाया, तो पहली मीटिंग जो हुई पूरा दिन हम लड़ते रहे। We could decide nothing, and the only thing we decided was to name it as Handola Club. That was funny.
व्हाट क्लब
So Handola Club, nothing to do with literature, but anyway, this was
हंडोला
decided. And for short of any name, we fought about the name. That so well, nothing till somebody said, okay, hell with it, put it Handola Club. So I remember it. But anyway, jokes apart, ये डॉक्टर साहब, jokes apart, उसकी वो जो थिंकिंग उस वक्त की रही, ये आपने डाउन ट्रॉडन की कम्युनिस्ट का वो बुर्जुआजी का उसका इसका ये मेरे मन में हर वक्त रहा. I
ओके
always thought since then the underdog, that we should be
ओके
rich enough, a dirty rich, and don't do anything to our poor stuff. And this has I have retained this all my life. So that period of my support is that's why it is valuable to me, because I
ऑफ
was
कोर्स
built up with that idea that. So my philosophy of life actually is dependent on that. Be good and do good. I tell my children and children. It is
सर
not enough that you
कांगू
should be
सर कांगू
good.
सर you retired as the principal chief conservator of forests. That's not a small
Yes, yes.
thing. It is the height
Mhm.
of everything. I won't say that I'm taking height in the higher
Yeah,
sense.
that's
I remember my
right.
chachu, my uncle, मेरे चाचा सैफी सोपोरी आपके पड़ोस में रहते थे हाथीशाह में. उन्होंने
I
कहा
know, say
मेरे सोपोर को कुछ न कहना, सोपोर जो मेरा
that.
शहर ठहरा.
Sure. Uh-huh.
जहां रिदाएं हुस्न की घूमती रहती हैं, मेरे सोपोर को कुछ न कहता, सोपोर जो मेरा
अरे
शहर
वाह.
ठहरा. I love
Yeah.
Sopor, you love Sopor, I'm a Sopori, you are a Sopori, we are all Soporis and we are
Yeah.
proud of Sopor. And
See,
Sopor
I
is not because of us, we are because of Sopor.
Yes, yes. So I thought my early training to goodness of life was with those children, with those my own. Luckily, I had good people to be around. So that has actually been all my life. I have seen to it that I should be helpful to people. I mean, this is something. This is all through my career, क्या नाम, departmental career. But
Sir.
from agriculture, let's go to the mainstream now. After agriculture, so Tatwano ke overcar I mean, people didn't like because they thought I'm a doctor. Pata is
Uh-huh.
malay mein hamsa overcar me to one but
तो क्या करो
it
सही?
was all right. But midway when I finished my BSc agriculture, around that time came was this forest जो ये commission यहाँ पर था ना, ये जो करते what is it called, like selection committee, they
हाँ
advertised forestry post. So
हाँ.
I was selected. In fact, I came first in that interview. So I was selected for Dar Ru. I did 3 years there. I just took a quickly because I had to say why I say it. After I finished there in Dar Ru, I got a degree in forestry. I came here and joined Forest Department J&K, and that was 1960. In fact, 59, late
As what?
59. I
As what you
as,
joined?
as assistant conservator forest
Ah, great.
at Asia. So I then became there for a few years, and so a time came that when my colleagues, all colleagues who were studied with me in Dehradun, they got small little divisions and they didn't give me a division. So there was one, if you know, he was also Masudi, luckily your
Yeah,
namesake.
yeah.
Masudi was our senior, very senior conservator. He said, I have seen in you, you are more studious, you are
Nazir,
I mean,
Nazir, Nazir Masoodi. Nazir Masoodi.
Nazir Masudi, yes. He
Hmm.
suggested, why forget
Maulana,
about these
Maulana,
divisions?
Maulana, Maulana Muhammad Said Masoodi's younger brother.
मसूदी, यस यस, तो उसने क्या
Hmm.
कहा कि आप सॉइल कंजर्वेशन में जाओ, सी
I am
हाउ
told,
नेचर.
Kango Sahab, I will just hold you for a minute. Because when I was going through your profile, I was doing some research, and today only I came to know it is a support. Today, just imagine
हाँ हाँ,
that you
क्या
created one department of soil conservation. You created that department in 1978. Hey,
या
just tell us, how did this come to your mind?
yeah, I
It's
mean,
amazing.
this is the link really I'm telling you about. When I went for
Oh
that,
yeah,
then I,
yeah.
on
Tell
the
me, tell me, tell me.
advice of Nazir Masudi, I went to Dehradun for training and for another year. So I did a specialization in soil conservation. That's how things came into me. So after the
Great.
soil conservation came, and after a few years joined as a regular DFO, Divisional Forest Officer of Anantnag
DFO.
side.
Big
So
thing, big
that,
thing.
yeah, big thing. So it was the whole area down beyond Bejwara was mine, the whole territory. So I was the DFO. Can you beat it? I was there for 6 years. 6 years. I took my family there. Very palatial government building there. Very lovely building at Janglas Mandi. So what?
Anantnag. Yeah.
Another. So here came the change. When I was 6 years there, I enjoyed thoroughly my training there. But I was always thinking by that time, I had also, that I forgot to say, within the period of my first joining and this Anantnag thing, I had done another special course. I got a scholarship, Colombo Plan scholarship, and went to England for a year.
Yeah.
Here I did again soil conservation, engineering, and watershed management, etc., etc. So that when I was now a DFO with all the degrees of soil conservation specialization, I felt that I'm wasting my time in the mainstream forestry. Believe me. I said DFO रहना, फिर conservator रहना, फिर बस यही जंगल का काम करना. I didn't like this lumberjack system. So I was now dreaming of getting something into conservation field.
Mhm.
So so that is
Kango
how,
Sahab,
I don't know.
Kango Sahab, Kango Sahab, I am getting messages that Kango Sahab was winto thoda kashir pait kat karen कि soil गई जमीन conservation हो तहफ्फुज. ये क्या मतलब को soil conservation क्या करा? हम क्या जमीन तहफ्फुज जवान? ये क्या मतलब क्या काम तुम करा?
ना सह ठीक, ये शायद सवाल तो पान पुरसुन मगर बहुत वन बह मकलावाना गोड युस तो पुरसु डायरेक्ट ये Uh,
Mhm.
I will reply that question. Magar, let me
Okay.
continue.
Please go ahead.
70s, when I thought that this mainstream forestry is not suited to me. I don't want to
Mhm.
be just a jungle man or a lumberjack, because
Mhm.
my specialization in soil conservation was something which was dear to me. So luckily, I became somehow in the sector a secretary of a soil conservation board. Cutting the whole story short, they made me
Ji.
a director. So I was the founder director of Soil Cup. So I became, surprisingly, from a
Viewers, we have
DFO,
little problem. Yeah.
head of
Yeah.
department, as head of department, mind you, and I served as founder director for 11 long years, established the department, which was very dear to me. It was not that I only became a director, sorry, but it was I started a remote sensing center, which became finally a separate department of remote sensing. I started agroastrology, that is grassland, which again became an
Mhm.
agroastrology in the forest. So
Mhm.
I'm very satisfied, to be very
Mhm.
honest with you. I'm very satisfied that I
Mhm.
did
Mhm.
contributing. So what I
Mhm.
did in soil conservation a little later. But if you want to talk
Mhm.
about conservation, if anybody wants to, bakateli parti kosher parti katmatmala,
Yes.
magar bos
Yes.
bana
Yes.
isi soil conservation. Was it was a meos bar sada mushkil temdo soil conservation बनावन, because तम वक्त was forest से अलग soil conservation department, तो एग्रीकल्चर से वो सॉइल कंजर्वेशन डिपार्टमेंट, तो फ्लड कंट्रोल वाले तो सॉइल कंजर्वेशन विंग पता है मन है यह कुछ द्राव नो ब्याक सॉइल कंजर्वेशन फॉरेस्ट
हाँ.
डिपार्टमेंट मन
तो मैं बुझुस ये
बट आई
वना ये क्या?
ah that is was a big task to timan wanun ki ye soil ke ye sab no banyo yes chu actually iman haun kit pat conservation kare iman chu wanun kya go erosion iman chu wanun kya shi zaruri ti agar as
Godasan,
plantation
God, your first problem would have been the bureaucracy. They would not understand
oh
कि ये क्या मतलब what is this
yes.
conservation? क्या है?
I don't know, but maybe I'm taking too much time to explain it. This is a funny thing in this when my name was proposed as a director.
Mhm.
Atma
Mhm.
minister was headed by revenue minister at that time. Our minister was not in favor of creating a
Yeah,
department,
that's
but
that's
I
it. That's
was
it. It came to my mind.
yeah. Yeah, but I was the man who would write the what you call the minutes.
Uh,
I worked very hard in that minutes. I remember it because it's something very funny. So when this minister who didn't agree to it, he said, I didn't tell you this. Man, what? I mean, मैंने ये ओन मुझे चीज तो लिख पूछा थी मैं
what a
अगर
what
तू
a
वाला
great thing. This is
क्यों
breaking
वाला
news. This is breaking news.
this is interesting. This is interesting. When I'm just many community churches like body Cathan answer them to one I don't name that minister. You want so much well read. So what I
Actually,
did, I
question
did
part
I
वाला
made
actually वाला question point putting words into the mouth question part का लफ्ज आप रहा हुई.
yes, English Spanish language. But Janab
Hmm.
agar tu Vananchi, if you do like I will cut it out and you do like no, thou. So he liked it.
क्या बात है
So
क्या बात है क्या बात. वाह वाह
that's
वाह.
that was
Interesting. Very interesting.
these are things I remember in life. I remember in life that is God, but of course with God these things.
Hmm.
I
Interesting.
must appreciate absolutely. But I'll tell you one thing: okay, by being in soil conservation, I did original research. I did original work. I wrote a lot of technical papers. I and what you call maker conferences at a national, international conference I attended. So which boosted up my record of achievements. So that of course helped me a little later. So
Kangu
अगर
Sahab,
आपको
Kangu Sahab, we have already had the half of the time with your childhood to the job to the conservator of forest. Now we will come to the serious part of it. The serious part of it is कि जो अब संजीदगी है, हमारा कश्मीर जन्नत है. जन्नत फॉरेस्ट के साथ जुड़ा हुआ है. हमारी सबसे बड़ी इंडस्ट्री फॉरेस्ट था. अब अफॉरेस्टेशन के साथ साथ डिफॉरेस्टेशन इतनी तेजी से हुई है. सोशल कंजर्वेशन, वाटरशेड मैनेजमेंट, this all has gone to the dogs in recent years. Now, kindly tell us, kindly teach us, what should the bureaucracy of the day, what should the people of the day What should the
Yeah,
government of today think? Because you have so much to say about it. You have done the in-depth research. You are not an
I'll,
ordinary person. This is our privilege that you
I'll,
are here with us.
बहुत बहुत आपने बहुत अच्छा ये सब्जेक्ट को रियली इस लेवल पे ले आया ये तो मैं ये कर रहा आई एम ए वेरी सैड मैन इफ आई सी व्हाट इज हैपनिंग टू बी वेरी ऑनेस्ट विद यू बिकॉज जो मुझे लगता है हालत में यहाँ कश्मीर में क्या है द ट्रेंड इज अनफॉर्चुनेटली कि अच्छी कश्मीर में डेवलपमेंट इज इन द नेम ऑफ बिल्डिंग्स इन द नेम ऑफ रोड्स in the name of infrastructure, in the name of what you have, tourism, and name anything. And if you achieve, you manage itne kuch banaya, you start praising people. I am one who is completely against this. We have to put, because I know, unfortunately, I think planners are not, either don't know it or they are just closing their eyes. First of all,
Absolutely.
because
Very true.
this is a technical issue. I'll tell you. ये मुझे बासा मसला मुझे बने अख एग्जांपल गुलमर्ग सोनमर्ग अच्छे स्कीइंग करें अच्छे करो हो अच्छे को से स्टॉपस ताऊ छना इट लुक्स वेरी नाइस फॉर एवरीबॉडी ये बड़ मुश्किल तिमन वन फॉर गॉड्स सेक आवर कश्मीर इज नॉट ए टेम्परेट कंट्री like your what you call England, like your Europe, like your this where like the Switzerland, of course. They forget this. Timo cha Switzerland में skiing karan वो ये करो Timo उस तक से टॉपर्स पर ये करो they forget. And this I have to say because you said it's a serious matter and I feel it's serious. Kashmir is not a temperate region. It is temperate. It's called mountain temperate. We are temperate because we are on height. आप समझे बहुत हाइट होने की वजह से हमारा टेम्परेट है स्नो तभी होता है बिकॉज वी आर ये टेम्परेट में है तो हम क्या करते हैं इफ वी डिस्टर्ब दिस टेम्परेट क्लाइमेट थिंकिंग दैट इट इज लाइक वर्किंग इन इंग्लैंड और दिस वी मक अप विद दिस थिंग दैट इज व्हाट फॉर एग्जांपल आई विल टेल यू इफ आई वर somebody I would not allow in Gulmarg the second stage of what is called Gondola. Why? Because first stage is I forget the name. Gondola. नहीं जहाँ पहले जाते first stage पे तो no first stage थी अच्छा ना down stage and खसान गोगर मैं इनको कह रहा हूँ मतलब this is my desire if I were somebody in the administration I would stop all development activities over a certain what you call a prohibited line and draw map. Don't touch it. For example,
कांगू साहब आपके ऊपर उंगली उठेगी ये आदमी एंटी डेवलपमेंट है but what will be your reason to convince them कि भाई आप devastation कर रहे हो
yes it's a beautiful question ये है पुटी में भाई जितना आपकी जगह है उतने ही करो इस कमरे में 4 आदमी आते हैं 10 रखो मगर आप 100 आदमी इस कमरे में रखेंगे तो कयामत है ना अच्छा और आप तो सारी दुनिया देखी सारा कश्मीर देखा है और सारा एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन देखा है इतने साल में जब से आजादी है किसी ने कोई बात करता है कि भाई स्नो पैक होना चाहिए स्नो का अपना एरिया है उसको रहने दो उसको डिस्टर्ब मत करो आपके जो ये है ग्लेशियर्स है उसको डिस्टर्ब मत करो आपके ऊपर जो नंगे पहाड़ हैं विच आर नॉट कोर्स नंगे बिकॉज not that we did anything नंगे is because ट्री लेवल वहीं पर खत्म होती है उन पास्चर्स रहने दो आपके भी हर जगह जहां जगह देखिए वहां बनाइए बंग से सच अच्छा कोई एक चीज है दूसरा है फॉर एग्जांपल देयर इज ए कैपेसिटी अगर आप गुलमर्ग में 2000 का फुटफॉल है 2000 आपके आदमी जा सकते हैं दिन में सीजन में आप 10,000 की बेच सकते हो ये क्या घर का ये समझा है एंड दिस इज गोइंग टू फिनिश कश्मीर क्वेश्चन इज जब आपने एक रिजर्व अपना आई विल टेल यू एन एग्जांपल you know we had in 19th century document जो फॉरेस्ट में अर्ली चलता था that was called working plan you must have heard about that उसमें एक बड़ा खूबसूरत एक जो रखा था उन्हीं जो ऊपर वाले स्लोप now let's say 10,000 feet above that they would have classified as prohibitive slopes prohibitive areas no activities, no human activities over there, accepting natural. वो नुमान जाएंगे, वो जाएंगे, ये जाएंगे। आज के लिए टाइम में वो ख्याल ही नहीं है. Anything they can do, anything they can put up a road or any place they can build up a road, and any area they can build a big construction anywhere they say. So I would say one of the big things against development would be, in my case, is have a, what we call a reasonable development, in the sense कि जितनी उसकी कैपेसिटी है, आप एक एरिया को कैपेसिटी हिसाब से देखो, ऐसे नहीं करोगे आप. डू यू नो हमारे वेली जो है, इट्स हार्डली, इफ यू सी क्रो फ्लाइट में 200 या बाय 150 या 50, मुझे एग्जैक्ट फिगर नहीं, उतना टोटल है. एंड हिल्स इसके अराउंड 1000 ऑफ किलोमीटर्स हैं. अगर आप इनको नंगा रखोगे, इसको डिस्ट्रक्शन करोगे, लैंडस्लाइड्स होगी, सॉइल इरोजन होगा, ये सारी चीजें आपके वाटर स्टोरेज जो है हमारे हैं, आपका वुलर खत्म ऑलरेडी है, आपका डल है, आपके जो दूसरे
डल खत्म हो गया है, औचार खत्म है.
तो ये इसलिए होता है बिकॉज लॉट ऑफ सॉइल इरोजन का आपने भाई पता ही ना, ये सॉइल इरोजन पता ही नहीं चलता है, जो उसको शीट इरोजन कहते हैं फर्स्ट स्टेज में, वो इतने छोटे छोटे पार्टिकल, पानी बारिश पड़ी लगे यहाँ से, जब बारिश पड़ी आपने देखा होगा जैलिम या कोई देखो कितना गदला होता है. वो गदला क्यों होता है? इट इज बिकॉज ऑल रिमूविंग दिस सॉइल,
इरोजन, लैंड इरोजन.
यस, दैट इज इरोजन एंड लैंडस्लाइड्स. तो इसमें हमको प्लांटेशन का, अच्छा सॉइल को हम जब डिपार्टमेंट में थे, हमने नॉट ओनली दैट we made this as a sort of our slogan that erosion is taking place at a high rate in Kashmir. Not only that, we also said that in future we should go back to that 19th century document, in the sense that all prohibited slopes should be left untouched. I would still die with that opinion that they are not doing it and they should do it. The more
Kango sir, we have not taken any lessons from your research. We have not taken any lessons from your experience, documentations, because we faced the wrath of the flood in 2014. You were under flood. I was under flood. My area was under flood. Your area was under flood. And what are the threats the Kashmiri people, whosoever is here, living here, what is the threat? Because they are not listening to you. They are not listening to your research. They are not listening to what you want. What are the threats? क्या शब्दन वोल से खुदा दिए नजात कि अगर वहीं सब लोग.
I think this change is not to be handled. It should not we should not have this government only responsible. Unless there is a change in our
mindset.
Individual. देखिए हम जैसे कश्मीरी में, particularly Kashmir, I tell you, सारी कोशिश ये सोचो कि ऐसा तिथे पर use land use तिथे पर, you know, we have land use distortions in Kashmir. That's a big subject I can talk about. तो वो आप छोड़ दीजिए. मैं ये कह रहा हूँ कि हमारी कश्मीर में जो इंडिविजुअल्स हैं, आप और मैं और जो सुनते हैं, उनको एक सिंपल सा मेरा मैसेज है. वो शुड कॉज व्हाट आई से, वो किताबों में ऐसे नहीं आएगा. वो है कि कंजर्वेशन एथिक्स. सॉरी,
पानी ले लें. पानी ले लें प्लीज.
एंड कंजर्वेशन एथिक्स के लिए आपको गवर्नमेंट ऑर्डर की जरूरत नहीं है. कंजर्वेशन एथिक्स ये है कि वो आपको अपने लेवल पे, मसलन मैं हूं, आई एम GHK, आई डोंट नीड टू हैव अ बिग कार. व्हाई? हैव अ स्मॉल कार. It may start like that. If you go to a bathroom, for example, why do you have a bathtub? You spend more water on that. I mean, these are small things. Conservation ethics mind में आ जाए, and this is our religion. है ना, मतलब आप जाके कर मन से आशी से वजू करो कर सोरी दया खाओ, नहीं है पाबंदी है, आपको कितना कुछ कर सकते हो. तो आपके खाने में, आपके पीने में, आपके तौर तरीके में, आपके ये जो स्पेंड तरीके, इस चीज को आपको कंजर्वेशन. सो आई कॉल इट काइंड लुक बता ना बात क्या है. बट आई फील ये गवर्नमेंट का ही काम नहीं है. मैं यहाँ बैठ के मैं करता हूँ, मुझे कहा मेरे बच्चे ने कि देयर माशाल्लाह अपने अपने काम में बट बे आर गुड on it. Why? I did a big car. So if everybody thinks, I'm sorry, I'm
कांग्रेस तो बुश
quoting
बनाए कि
myself.
खतरे क्या छुबे खतरात क्या है अल्लाह
खतरात
ताला
बोनो
अल्लाह ताला
खतरात
ये नजात मुसीबत क्या है इनवल तेल अस
बोनो तो मच बोनो साफ व्हाट इज मिस मुझे मतलब एग्जांपल क्या
यस
ये
यस प्लीज बी वेरी फ्रैंक प्लीज बी वेरी फ्रैंक
Tried Sharif to was irrigation dam. I forgot the name. I'm sorry. Maybe when I'll tell you. Tried Sharif also got irrigation dam. This is when I was working in soil department. So I do which I said I will say that I should we were trained in catchment analysis. Matlab, this is a technical subject. Catchment go so area yapar aab ye tak jai. That is catchment. Catchment analysis करा as कर soil erosion तक कोता ये क्या ये वगर पगर. We found that जो इनने एक छोटा डैम बनाया था for irrigation वो 5 साल में खत्म हो गया. And the engineers, you know what engineers did that time? I wish I had that paper. We have put that in a paper. तो उन्होंने क्या किया उन्होंने डैम को 5 फुट और बढ़ाया हाइट बढ़ाई कि चलो 5 साल निकालने को और least caring about the catchment unless you take care of the catchment वहां पर कंजर्वेशन करेंगे प्लांटेशन करेंगे टेरेसिंग करेंगे लैंड यूज ठीक करेंगे ऊपर वाले को बैरन एरियाज को ग्रासलैंड डेवलपमेंट करोगे ये जब सब एक टेक्निकल एक कैचमेंट के हिसाब से करोगे क्या होगा आपका फिर ये इरोजन ये जो है एंड माइंड यू ये जब मैंने ये इस डैम की बात कर रहा था मे बी आई रिमेंबर द नेम ये छोटा सा डैम है इसको हमने कैलकुलेट किया कि पर एकड़ डिफरेंट लैंड यूज से कितना सॉइल आता है so if you change the land use to a more permanent feature that's why we need plantations more एक तो ये है मेरे ख्याल में मेरा हमारा एक और कंट्रीब्यूशन ये है कि दैट वी शोड देम द टेक्निक्स वी इंप्रूव द टेक्निक्स ऑफ प्लांटेशन कि देखो पर हम बिल्कुल नंगे पहाड़ है उसमें से कैसे प्लांट करेंगे हमने कहा ट्रेंच ट्रेनिंग वो दूसरे तीसरे जो तरीके हैं या फिर मैन्यूरिंग वो ये करके and there are examples this became in fact we had about when I was direct soil commission we had about 50 such watershed programs in which we had shown that by treating the small areas in catchment basis and we can improve. अच्छा एक और चीज आपसे बताता हूँ एक more important is unless the government the people think ना मैं आपको बताता हूँ ये तेमी एरिक्शा इस दनवेज़िन आप और मैं भी आपको पता है ये जो वुलर है हमारा है ये वुलर में तो सारा जहलिम आता है ना सारा जहलिम इसमें ये नहीं और सारा ऊपर का जहलिम जो है उसके सारे ट्रिब्यूटरीज है आई थिंक 24 या टोटल 24 है 20-30 तो ऊपर का ये सारा नेम अनी जो भी आपको याद हो वेशो है रंबियारा है ये सब आते हैं इसका पानी सब निगली से आके ये आपके
वुलर में आ जाता है वुलर में आ जाता है
अगर इसमें ये एनुअली इतना लोड आपका सॉइल और सिल्ट का आ जाता है आपका ये क्या नाम वुलर तो रहेगा नहीं इसमें तो ये सीधी सी बात है अच्छा उसमें देखिए कितने टाउन्स आते हैं उनका सीवरेज उनका वो दूसरा ये चीजें आ जाते हैं अच्छा इन चीज को ये जब आप ये दिस एक्चुअली ये चीजें टेक्निकल भी है लेकिन ordinary people can understand this when the whole river dumps its soil and silt into your absorption basin in fact wooler is called absorption basis otherwise ये जब इसमें डालता है तो नेचुरल वुलर तो खत्म हो गया मतलब इसीलिए खत्म हो गया
कांगू साहब मैं कशर पट जमींदार पट जित्रे मैं जमींदार पट जित्रे चीज अख वकनस अख खतर अगर इथे कन कुल खत्म करो अक दम सारी फाड़ हेर पे बोन वसित गो मलबस तल खुदा दिन नजार दोम चीज कि पत मकान तो दुकान तो बंगल तो जामियात बनाई डलस अंद अंद वलरस अंद अंद वलरच कैपेसिटी गए कम उनका सीवेज भी उसी में जाता है वो मिट्टी भी उसी में जाती है और एक दिन कहीं ऐसा न हो कि जब पानी ग्लेशियर जाके पानी आ जाए इसके पास जगह नहीं है we live for today we don't live for tomorrow हम आज करते हैं आज करो मजा पगा वो बन पगा नहीं we have to wake up this program is a wake up call for the government I will just I'm very sensitive and emotional this time please this program of Mr. G.H Kango former principal conservator of chief conservator of forests, is a wake-up call for Kashmiris, for Jammu and Kashmiri people, for Ladakhis, especially the people of Srinagar who are Bandipora district, who live around the lakes, and the people of the Jammu and Kashmir state. If they don't wake up now, they will, तुम्हारी दास्तां तक भी न होगी दास्तानों में, न समझोगे तो मिट जाओगे ऐ कश्मीर वालों, तुम्हारी दास्तां तक भी न होगी दास्तानों में. बिकॉज दिस थ्रेट, आप मत समझिए कि 14 में सैलाब आ गया अब नहीं आएगा, नहीं, यह आपके ऊपर मंडरा रहा है, कुछ भी हो सकता है, कभी भी हो सकता है. कांगू साहब इस वक्त हमारे साथ हैं. कांगू साहब ने बहुत कुछ कहा, लेकिन कांगू साहब एक चीज जो मेरे दिमाग में आई थी, आप एक कोलंबो प्लान की स्कॉलरशिप भी गए थे, वहां कोलंबो प्लान में क्या करने गए थे आप? व्हाट वाज दैट?
I'll tell you. No, it was those days a program run by sort of United Nations. कि Colombo Plan में जो countries थे, India was one of them. I qualified for that, because I had done my already soil conservation, तो उस competition में आया. So I stayed for England for a year. Just to close थे, मैं इस एक चीज और बता दूंगा आपको. So my stay in soil conservation helped me to build up my CV, in the sense that after my retirement, I was for 10 years worked as a
with World Bank. Yeah.
And I did a project for World Bank, for Asian Development Bank, for UNDP. And I went to Indonesia, did one project. I went to China, did one project. But anyway, that apart. But what I'm saying is, let's go back to Kashmir. This is more important to us. I wish it is not only that we should take care of the surrounds of Dal and Wular. No, that is not the answer. Answer is that this whole entire valley is such a small trough that unless you take care of the mountains, of the hills, of the hillsides, of the activities on the hillsides, we are doomed. I'm sorry to say, that is how it is.
Yes. So no, you should not be sorry to say. This is the speaking blah blah, and if you don't understand, you'll be nowhere. You'll be gone with the wind.
So, yeah. I think I must focus with you.
This program, today's program, I'm liking it so much, so much. You are giving us, it's not the threats you are giving us the facts. ये वही fact है जो जिंदगी हम जिंदा है, वो fact है. हमने इस दुनिया से जाना है, वो fact है. आपने जो फरमाया कांगो साहब, वो fact है. Now coming to that, you have done studies. I'm confused today. I had done so much of interviews. I'm so much confused. That you made nomadic studies. What's that nomadic? This is something very, it sounds very amazing and strange to me. Nomadic studies क्या गो? गुजर बकरवाल ने शुरुआत study करमस. क्या किया आपने?
Bhavani, this was some. You must have seen my record or something. That's how you found this nomadic. I'll tell you, this is one of my, I have quite a few interests apart from my forestry thing. Why I moved from main forestry to this field was because there was much more to do for me. I had urge to do this, to do that. And in nomads, I'll tell you, you must have seen, if you go to in winter to Jammu, you must see these Gujar Bakarwal moving around, isn't it? If you go to Araspora, if you go here, yes. So and then in summer they are on this side. So we took a study when I was in soil conservation. Let us see their movement, how they do. So we took a very serious study. Myself and there was another officer with me beyond that. So we took a study and saw their movement कि कहाँ से कहाँ जाता है. So we could recognize 7 routes. It is a published material now, 7 routes. अच्छा पता है आइडिया क्या था? आइडिया ये था कि अगर आपको बकरवाल्स को इम्प्रूव करना है, don't settle them. This is one warning I must give to government. जो भी सोचता है, don't settle them anywhere because this is their lifestyle. So their lifestyle is because in winter they will go to warmer places. In summer they should go to the pastures which are waiting for them virtually. So what should they? If we recognize these routes, develop those routes for them, develop grasslands there, develop schools around them, develop medical facilities on those routes. So that is this work. That idea was to have these grazing things. And incidentally, on grazing, it might interest you to know.
Reverse that we have some internet issues. The area Kango Sahab is in, the area I am in, कभी मेरी यहाँ से प्रॉब्लम होती है, कभी उनके यहाँ से प्रॉब्लम. Please continue. Yeah,
So I was
please
thinking
continue.
that this was since we are nomads, I might add a little more, and I was so charmed by the study of nomads and my colleague that I was asked, in fact, to go on leave and do something, write a separate book on nomads, which was, I didn't have enough courage to say, leave my service and do that. But I tell you, this is such a fantastic study, fantastic view of people. I
Fantastic.
wish,
Yes.
and they are not they're under a political system. I don't think there are people taking care of it. Actually, incidentally, I did a study on the nomadic crafts. So that is now a chapter in the book Crafts of Jammu, Kashmir, and Ladakh is my chapter on nomadic crafts. I mean, this was
Kango sir,
just
has this book come?
This no, I was telling you there is a coffee table book. You can see it anywhere. Coffee table book,
Okay.
arts and crafts of Jammu, Kashmir, and Ladakh. It has my
Okay.
chapter on nomadic crafts.
Kango sahab, you have so much. Allah aapko sehat de de. May you live long. May you be strong as you are. Maybe you smarter as you are now. But you should take the care of the time. You should take up this thing. You should take up this thing. Your granddaughter is there. She can help you. You can dictate. She can type. Have this documented. Because आपके पास जो समंदर है अंदर बंद करके रखा है उसको बाहर लाए, उसको किरतास पे पेपर पे लाइए, so that our Gen X, आपकी granddaughter, my granddaughter, उनके बच्चे आगे आने वाले generation next 30 40 years 50 years they can benefit because it is such a vast.
Great conversation with you. So very nice. I enjoyed
Tell me
it.
one more thing. You have done some pasture development in the northwest Himalayas also. What was that? What study was that?
Well, as I told you, we had this special in Soil Conservation Department special program on pasture development. So I became myself sort of quite knowledgeable about it. And you will not believe probably that I wrote a paper on pasture development of Western Himalayas and presented in Peshawar, Peshawar, Pakistan, in a program under FAO. So that is an interesting feature. Anyway, that's just besides the point. In Peshawar.
So what is the pasture development? What does it mean for a common man, for a non-technical person like Rafiq Masoodi? Pasture development.
Yes, I will tell. अबे बोना pasture development को ये मसला मुंशा इसने मोटा बाहक नहीं तो तुई अगर तुई कुनी बाहक ते गिच्छो ये बाहक चे गंबस overgraze with the less I just basan seta green मगर sagishin they are not herbs and shrubs या grasses उतने valuable नहीं है उनके लिए proper techniques है इसको rotational grazing करेंगे fertilizing करेंगे उस तरीके से अलॉटमेंट उस तरीके से वो जाएंगे तो वो उस तरीके से बनेगा तो इसमें पास्चर डेवलपमेंट अच्छा और उसकी सर्वे करना कौन कौन से पास्चर आते हैं मसलन आपके कौन से आई डोंट नो टू नेम देम कि अगर हम उसको सेफ गार्ड्स करें इसकी सोइंग करें फरो सोइंग करें उसमें भी एक टेक्निक्स बहुत हैं वन कैन डेवलप एंड आई फील थ्रू यू आई मस्ट टेल यू अगर हमारे पास मान लीजिए आई थिंक वी अबाउट 4000 kilometers of pastures. I think I may be wrong in the exact figures. This is something on which our nomadic grazing depends. So if we make them more productive, they can have more valuable put on their income, and they'll be more safe. You can take more if you have programs, as I said, along these routes, have shelter sheds, have medical facilities. So they don't need to settle them. For God's sake, they want to please what we call people or voters, prospective voters. Okay, we'll settle them there. It will be a disaster because about 4,000 kilometers square of pastures will remain unused. So that's my thing. And most important,
Kango sahab, आपकी रिसर्च तो आई टेल यू इट्स अमेजिंग. ये कहीं ऐसा ना हो कि लोग कहेंगे कि आरएनए चैनल में जो रू हैं रफीक मसूदी और ये जीएच कांगू साहब जो हैं या आजकल हम खौफ दिखाने आए हैं, डराने आए हैं. काश हम डर जाते, काश हम आज डर जाते हमारा
uh,
वाला ना, हम कुछ टेकिंग लेसन्स नहीं, हमें किसी चीज की परवाह नहीं है। अगर खुदा न खास्ता ये पहाड़ नीचे आ जाता, ये हमने जो बड़े बड़े बंगले, ये सीमेंट जंगल जो तैयार कर रखा है, ये किस काम का?
बिल्कुल, I am
ये
against it.
आई वंडर। लेकिन नाउ नाउ टेल मी कांगू साहब,
हाँ,
या
बताइए।
वी शुड, बट इट शुड गो टू अवर माइंड, my Kashmiri brothers, my Kashmiri sisters, my Kashmiri fathers, please listen to
Conservation ethics.
Kango Saab. Uh, Please listen to it. And
Conservation.
Kango Saab, now coming to the last part of it, we have 10
हाँ, फरमाइए,
minutes
फरमाइए।
left. I want
अच्छा, क्या था
to
प्रॉब्लम?
watersheds.
Pardon me?
छोटे छोटे watersheds क्या मतलब होता है क्या?
I think I feel, to be very honest, this is getting to more technical. Basically, I feel if we can emphasize through this program what I said earlier, that we as individuals, we as community should follow this conservation ethics. Do not have big structures, do not have big ideas, what you call industrialized projects. I'm certainly against it. Do not have, because this place is different, and most important,
I,
let me
no,
let me come to
I
important.
beg to differ with you that
It's good, yes, differ.
I beg to differ with you that we are going more technical. But I believe, because I belong to the broadcasting, I belong to the communication, unless जब तक ना आप अपने लोगों को टेक्निकली बताते हैं, अगर आप जुबानी जुबानी विदाउट एनी रेफरेंस बताते रहते हैं, बिल बनाना, जब आप उनको कहते हैं कि भाई इससे ये होने वाला है, वो से आप ये होने वाला है, अगर आप ये नहीं करते हैं कल आप नहीं रहेंगे, कल सब खत्म हो जाएगा। अब देखिए ना टेम्परेचर, 5 साल पहले का टेम्परेचर दिन का आज हमारा 36 डिग्री था, 35 डिग्री था। अब देखिए कितनी गर्मी हो रही है। फैन, एसी जो हम कभी सोच ही नहीं सकते, अब हर गाड़ी में एसी चलता है, हर घर में एसी लगे हुए हैं। दिस इज व्हाट वी हैव डन टू अवर। कुदरत के साथ आप लड़ेंगे, कुदरत के खिलाफ आप करेंगे, कुदरत आपको छोड़ने वाली नहीं है। दिस इज व्हाट कांगू साग रिसर्च क्रक्स इज देयर। आप छेड़छाड़ कर रहे हैं कुदरत के साथ, ये आपके साथ छेड़छाड़ करेगी। 2014 में किया, अभी कर सकती है अगर आप नहीं संभलेंगे। 3-4 दिन पहले कुछ करने वाली थी, लेकिन अल्लाह ने बचाया, आप बच गए। आप कैसे बच गए? ये ऊपर वाले शायद आपके बुजुर्गों की दुआ। कांगू साहब, इट हैज बीन वंडरफुल टॉकिंग टू यू। आई वोंट से कि दैट मैंने बहुत कुछ आपसे एक्सट्रैक्ट किया, लेकिन जितनी मेरी रिसर्च थी, आपके बचपन से लेकर पिछले 80-85 साल का जो सफर था, वो 1 घंटे में पूरा, 60 मिनट में तो नहीं पूरा होगा। लेकिन मैं दोबारा कहूंगा, अभी आपके पास ग्रैंड डॉटर्स हैं, ग्रैंड चिल्ड्रन हैं, इनकी
Yes, yes.
एनर्जी का, इनकी शक्ति का, इनकी ताकत का सहारा लेके, मदद लेके, जितना भी आपके पास है, इधर स्टोर में जो मेमोरी कार्ड में है, उसको कागज पे लाइए, बुक में लाइए, उसमें किताब छापिए, लाइए। हो सकता है कहीं न कहीं हम कश्मीरी लोग जाग जाएं, वी स्टडी इट, एंड जो आने वाले खतरात हैं, आने वाले मुजमिरात जो हैं हमारे डिफॉरेस्टेशन के, हमारे सॉइल कंजर्वेशन के, उससे हम जाग जाएं। अगर हम जाग जाते हैं तो मेरे ख्याल में एक बहुत बड़ी बात है।
बहुत अच्छा।
कौन
मैं
सा?
सिर्फ इसमें मैं आपको एक चीज बताऊंगा, आप जिस फील्ड से हैं,
जी।
यू हैव ए कैपेसिटी टू टॉक, यू हैव अ कैपेसिटी टू राइट, माशाल्लाह। यू आर इन द बिजनेस ऑफ व्हाट टू कॉल दिस, जो है ब्रॉडकास्टिंग एटसेट्रा। I think it's your duty to just few things that you have to our Kashmiri people is that take up this conservation ethics. Unless we individually and collectively or conservation things or will not be. That's number one. Number two is that expand to जो है हम कर रहे हैं. For example, ये somehow I feel we have an aggressive tourism. We have to go against it. We must sort of somehow ways and means कि हमको कितने लोग जाने चाहिए किस, बिकॉज देखिए मैं एक चीज आपको बताता हूँ, ये जो ऊपर एज यू गो अप द हिल, उतनी ही सॉइल की डेप्थ कम हो जाती है, उतनी ये
बिल्कुल
फ्लेबल ज्यादा कम होती,
जी
उतनी ये
बिल्कुल
डेलिकेट ज्यादा होती है, उतनी वहां पर चांस ग्रो, नए ट्रीज ग्रो करने के नहीं आते। हम क्यों, आपको पता पता होगा एक्सपीरियंस से, जब हम कहीं जब प्लांटेशन करते पर एक किकर लगाते हैं, क्यों किकर लगाते हैं? क्योंकि ये अगर देवदार वाला एरिया है, वहां पर जमीन ऐसी खराब हुई है, देवदार डायरेक्ट आएगा नहीं। सो यही एक प्रिंसिपल जाता है कि जितना आप ऊपर पहाड़ों को डैमेज करोगे, उतना खलबली करोगे, इंटरफेयर करोगे, उतना यू आर गिविंग हैवक to the plains, to our valley. Number two, and let us not
बिल्कुल
forget, this is a mountainous country, and it is not a inborn temperate, it is a mountain temperate, so it will be a little different than copying the western style. And if you can convey these conservation things and be careful about this, and of course sustainable tourism, there are a few things we have to push through, otherwise we have no future, in Kashmir, no future. आपको मैं एक चीज और बताऊंगा. I
जी
when I was time, do we have a little more time? Do we have time? No.
yeah we can pull for 5 minutes.
Okay, so my point is, फॉरेस्ट्री जो है ना, जो 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 आपके देखते हैं, ये जो कॉमन रिसोर्स होता है, कॉमन
जी
रिसोर्स
जी
इज लीस्ट टेकन केयर ऑफ. आप जब माने कोई भी आदमी जाएगा, क्या नाम, गुलमर्ग मिसाल को, गुलमर्ग फॉरेस्ट का जा, ये उसका घर का फॉरेस्ट है, लेकिन वहां तो जाता है, मेरे आपके घर पर तो नहीं जा सकता कोई आदमी, बिकॉज इसका जो लैंड यूज है इज फ्री. इट इज नॉट मेरे फील्ड है तो एक बंद है, 2 कनाल मेरी जमीन है, आप वहां नहीं जा सकते. सो इट इज देयर फॉर ए कलेक्टिव रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी कि अगर आप फॉरेस्ट जाते हैं, प्लीज टेक केयर ऑफ. तो इस तरीके से जहां
बिल्कुल
कलेक्टिव कोई चीज हो, उसको करना है. ये दो चार चीजें आई एम श्योर यू कैन डू इन फ्यूचर. You can do more programs on this. I don't mind, because if I can do this,
I'll try.
basic thing is
Sure sir, I
that
promise you, we will do it.
it was a pleasure
I
talking
promise
to
you.
you.
It is wonderful talking to you, and I tell you very honestly, जो किताबें पढ़ने से, मैगजीन पढ़ने से, देखने से, बात करने में जो बहुत कुछ सीखा मैंने. आई वॉज एन इलिटरेट पर्सन, बट आई फील लिटिल कि अब मैं ABCD पढ़ पाया हूँ. कि और दूसरी बातें जो आपने कही हैं, जो कश्मीर में खतरात जो हैं, अगर हम नहीं संभलते हैं तो कहीं ऐसा न हो कि कश्मीर जो जन्नत बेनज़ीर था, कल को सहराए अजीम बन जाएगा. और जो हम जंगल बनाए लेकिन कंक्रीट बिल्डिंगों के जंगल न बनाए. बहुत बहुत
बिल्कुल.
शुक्रिया, बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया कांगो साहब. आई विश यू हेल्थ, wealth and success. May you
Thank you,
live
sir.
long. May everything go so smooth and beautiful in your life. May you have the pleasure of living a beautiful life again, again and again. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Good night. Allah Hafiz.
Great. शुक्रिया बहुत बहुत. It was a pleasure.
Thank you very much. लेकिन आप यकीन मानिए, आज मुझे वाकई डर लग रहा है कांगो साहब की बात सुनने के बाद. कांगो साहब की रिसर्च तहकीक के बाद मुझे बहुत डर लगा. इन्होंने कहा कि याद रखिए कि टूरिज्म डेवलपमेंट नहीं होती है, टूरिज्म पैसा कमाना डेवलपमेंट नहीं होती है, बड़ी बड़ी बिल्डिंगें बनाना डेवलपमेंट नहीं होती है. आप किसी जगह पे उतना ही फुटफॉल रखिए जितनी उसकी कैपेसिटी है. ये आपके लिए बहुत डेंजर हो सकता है. और अगर आपने इन पहाड़ों का ख्याल नहीं रखा है, किसी दिन ये पहाड़ आके नीचे न आ जाए और फिर न रहेगी बांस न बजेगी बांसुरी. बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया. इस इस चैट को, इस कन्वर्सेशन को बहुत संजीदगी के साथ, बहुत ही सीरियसली लीजिएगा. खुदा हाफिज. बाय बाय. गुड नाइट. टिल यू मीट अगेन ऑन थर्सडे नेक्स्ट. अल्लाह हाफिज.